What's up, everybody? Back at you with another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the video, and make sure you leave a comment. Also, don't forget, grab your copy of Blood on the Razor Wire, book wrote by me. I promise that you will not be disappointed, and you'll probably read it in about a day and a half to 2 days. Most people say they can't put it down. I'm not saying it, they are. But anyway, man, I just want to give a big thank you to all the people that have been supporting the channel. Those of you that have made donations. We're going to try to do some big things. Hopefully, we're going to give out some cash this week on the live, try to help out a couple people. We'll do what we can. A lot of people had wanted that Troy Kell video, right? So we went out there, we got it. We got that Troy Kell interview. We got that in the books. And I hope that people learned a lesson, man, from that, And there's a bunch of lessons to be learned. And I'm not going to dwell on the Troy Kell thing right now, but the lesson learned is, look, man, don't blow your life off, right? Don't just crush yourself by making irrational, irresponsible choices, man. And if you're a young man and you're listening, you should watch that Gladiator Days. And then you should come back and watch the interview with Troy, which happens to be, 21 years later, right? So remember, number one, man, don't blow your whole life, man. Number two, we can get a whole lot more if we work together instead of working against each other. And what other messages were in there, Chad? I mean, just that's not the life you want to live, man. You don't want to be in prison like Troy, stuck in a cell all day long, man. You don't want to be in a position where you feel like you might have to do something to someone. But that's what the message was. And I promise you guys, I got 2 more in the works where I'm waiting on some responses, man. I'm going to try to bring you 2 more big interviews. They might be from death row. They might be from prison. But all in all, I'm working on 2 big things that I think everybody will be happy with if I could secure them, all right? So hopefully it happens. I'll tell you what, I'm always working. But anyway, let's get into the video today, right? Surviving your first day in jail. What are you talking about, Chad? What jail? Are you talking about jail? Or are you talking about prison, state prison, federal prison, county jail? Well, let's start where it really starts at, right? We'll talk about the county jail. We'll talk about your first day in state prison. And we'll talk about your first day in federal prison. Although, I have that experience. It sucks. I've been in the county jail. I've been in state prison. And I've been in federal prison. Not proud of it. Happy that I'm out. And you know what? I'm pretty focused on never going back. Some cats might be watching this video like, man, I already been there. Okay, cool. Some cats might be like, man, I ain't going to jail. Sometimes you don't pick and choose whether or not you're going to go to jail. Sometimes things happen. And if they happen, you might want to be prepared. So we'll talk about that county jail. And I'll give you a little bit of my experiences, When I first went into that county jail, I remember getting arrested, man. I was in the back of the cop car like, oh, I'm going to jail. And back then, I think I might have mentioned this before, we had them starter jackets. I think I had a San Francisco 49ers starter jacket. Had my hat off to the side just a little bit. And I'm like, damn, I better walk in here and get tough real quick. Because when I was in that cop car, I was nervous as hell. I think I was 16, man. So as soon as I walk into the county jail, man, the first thing I see is cells full of people. And, I had heard stories from dudes in my neighborhood that been to jail. And this dude, Timmy Watkins, used to tell me, I went to jail, man. And I'm like, oh, shit. So, first thing I'm thinking, like, damn, I'm going into jail. I'm going into this gladiator school where it's time to get busy. As soon as I walk in, I see dudes in central booking laying all over the place, laying on the floor. And I'm like, damn, man, really don't want to be there, right? But anyway, when you first walk into central booking, it's crowded. There's people people addicted to drugs going through withdrawals, shaking on the floor. And they got people laying all over, man. You got 20 dudes in a cell that was probably designed for 10. Damn, there's dudes laying over by the toilet. There's dudes cramped up against the wall. There's some dudes that are just standing there for hours at the gate. And you always know, man, when you look in there, you're like, that dude's never been to jail before. Because he's usually the guy that's he might have got a spot on the bench, because sometimes they got benches in them holding cells, right? And he's sitting on the end of the bench like, and then you might see a dude that comes in there like, man, I'm about to bully this dude. I see who he is. But yo, man, I need to sit down. Oh, yeah, no problem, sir. Gotta jump up and get on the gate, man. Just stand at the gate like. Then when they bring the food trays, dudes are like, I'm not eating it. I'm good. Anybody want my tray? When really the guy might be hungry as hell. Or he might be like, nah, I'm cool. So anyway, when you go into my county jail, right? One of the first things you do, you go through that central booking, then you get the reception. When you get the reception, you stay over there for 3 or 4 days, and then they classify you. And they say, all right, we're going to send you over here. We're going to send you over there. You're going to Street Plaza. You're going to the mainframe. If you're from Rochester, you know what the mainframe is, right? The mainframe was part of the jail where it was kind of like kill or be killed. Definitely violent, depending on what side of the town you're from, what side of the city. Your homeboys might be on 3M. They might stick you in a pit with a bunch of other dudes, and we called them pits back then. I think there was like 11 cells in there, 11 people, 13 or 11. And anyway, you might go in a spot where you're not really welcome. And man, they would punish dudes up there. I'm not telling you this to scare you, I'm just telling you how it is. And I think a lot of county jails are like that. But what are some of the things that you need when you get to the county jail, man? I'm going to tell you one thing that's necessary. You're going to have some money. You need some money because you got to eat, man. The food is absolutely horrible. If you ain't got no money, you ain't going to eat. And one of the other things that you need, you need some heart, man. Because sometimes people in the county jail will try your ass, man. They will definitely try you. And in our county jail, dudes are like, yeah, I'm trying this cat, man. They'll take your commissary, man, slap you around. So you got to have some heart, man. And what do I mean by that? You got to be willing to fight, man. Because usually in jail, if you're willing to fight, the dudes are like, nah, I'm not going to, this dude's willing to fight, so I might go over here where the easier dude is, right? It's like the lions, man, out in the African plains, right? The lion would probably attack, the little deer instead of attacking some big ass animal, right? We're going to take that deer real quick, man. He's easier. He's not going to fight back. So you definitely got to be willing to fight back. And in our county jail, and this is probably in all county jails, when you walk in there, man, they don't give you shit, bro. When you're in reception, man, you get like this half a bar of soap. They break the soap. You get a half a bar of soap. They give you this shit tooth powder. So you got to brush your teeth, and this tooth powder comes in these little ass cups. They spray it in all the cups, and they give it to you, and they give you this little ass toothbrush. But if you got money, then you're good. The one thing that they don't give you is deodorant. And deodorant, to me, man, out of all the stuff that you need, hygiene-wise, you probably need some deodorant, man. You need some deodorant, you need to brush your teeth, you need to wash your ass. What? Yeah, wash your ass. You want to be up in there stinking, man. That's some of the first things that you're going to need. And usually, when you come into a housing unit, people might know you, man. You might be like, hey, man, it's my dude, if you've already been to jail. Or if you've, been in that criminal lifestyle. Sometimes, man, people will just look out for you. I always used to look out for certain people. Like, if you were from my city and you came in, I'd give you a little something, man, to get you started, right, in the county jail. But county jails are kind of like basic, man. Got to have some money. You got to be willing to fight for your shit. And people will probably leave you alone. So how do you survive? Don't act like you're brand new. I know you guys seen that show like 60 Days In and all that bullshit. And that's one thing about county jails is dudes are always like trying to act like they're tougher than they are. And sometimes them same tough ass dudes that you see are the dudes that if they end up going to prison, they're like, now they start thinking, damn, I'm going to prison. But dudes are always in there trying to start some shit, man, like nonsense. And you see it all the time on that 60 Days In, man. I've seen dudes fight, man, over all kinds of shit. People be like, hey, man, when you go to jail, man, you think that people are smoking cigarettes and playing cards. I've seen numerous people, man, getting fights in the county jail over spades games, man. So if I were you, I'd probably stay away from the spades game, right? Second thing I've seen people fight over all the time, basketball. The basketball court is the place where it happens, man. It jumps off. So if you're going to the county jail, what should you do? I'm going to keep it real with you, man. If you're going to have a little stay down there, make sure you got some money. Hopefully your family looks out for you, because if they don't, you're going to be twisted. If they do look out for you, then you'll probably be all right. And if you're not built like that, I probably wouldn't go to the store just spending all kinds of crazy money. What I would do is I'd buy the necessities, man, if I were you. I'd buy me some peanut butter and jelly. We used to call them survival kits. That way you can always have some peanut butter and jelly. Get you some crackers. Raymond's, right? I mean, some people refer to them as crackhead soups. But make sure you got some Raymond's. Make sure you can take care of yourself with, the basic stuff. And you're always going to have dudes in there. Like, if you drink coffee, there'll always be dudes at your door, man. Hey, what's up, man? Let me get a shot, man. I don't drink coffee, but I've seen it plenty of times. And dudes actually started selling what they called 8 balls in prison. They were 2 little sugar cubes with, I think, a scoop or 2 of instant coffee. Because, man, that thing that knocking on the door, hey, man, let me get a shot, man. Let me get a couple scoops, man. And eventually, your whole bag of coffee you bought at commissary is gone in like a day and a half. Because you had like 10 different people over there looking for a shot. And sometimes they're like cats. When you feed a cat milk, what does he do? Meow. He'll come back for more, man. We used to have a dude that we used to call, actually in federal prison, my boy Brad used to call him the cat. Because anytime he seen us with food, he'd come over there and be like, hey, what's up, man? What are you guys eating? How's everything going? Hey, can I get one? Like, damn, man. And my boy used to always tell me, man, stop giving that dude food, man. He's like a wild cat. He's going to keep coming back. So that's kind of how, like, your first day in the county jail, man, how do you survive in there? You kind of just lay back, mind your own business, man. dudes can single out who's who because you're kind of like, if you're new, you're like, don't know what's going on. You're trying to figure out how to use the phone. Look, man, find someone that you think might be all right and be like, look, dude, you should know how to work this phone real quick. I ain't never been in this county jail. You might want to act like you've been in some different ones. That's why you're like, I ain't never been in this spot before. But anyway, that's how I would survive my first day in the county jail. Federal prison's a whole different animal, man. We're going to get there in a second. State prison. So in state prison, this is kind of how it went for us, right? I went to state prison too. And I was only 16 when I caught my case and was going on my way to state prison. I actually turned 17, and that's when I got shipped out to prison. So I went through what's called Elmira, right? So prison up near, not too far from where I'm from. But it was like a reception too. When you get to Elmira, you come in that place, man, and let me tell you something. That joint is rocking. People are screaming. People are yelling. You're looking up. They got like 4 tiers on each side all the way up. Yeah, like that old prison movie shit you've seen. People are screaming. People are yelling. You always got some idiot that might have never been to prison, but he's been to Elmira for about 10 days now, and he's screaming on the door, new fish, new fish, like he's some old-time gangster. Usually the guys that talk that shit like that, they're usually the guys that are full of shit. They're probably soft. Not always, but a lot of times. So state prison, man, when you first walk into Elmira, you're like, wow, look at this shit. I remember walking in there at 17, like, this is my life, man. I got sentenced to 2 to 6 for an assault in the 2nd degree back then, right? Get to Elmira. As soon as you get there, they take you in, they start classifying you, talking to you, asking you all kinds of questions. They make you get butt-ass naked. One thing that I hate, man, I think I said this in my book, that shit makes me mad enough to pluck a chicken with my teeth, man. So now think about that. Some grown-ass old hillbilly, and I want you to think about this shit, man, because it ain't just about surviving your first day in jail. It's about you never making it there, man. Never making it to taking your ass to prison. So some young dude that's watching right now, or even a female, because they do this shit to you too, think about that, man, what it's like to have to get butt-ass naked in front of someone else. And they're like, yo, man, bend over, spread them. Humiliating, man. That's some of the first shit they do. They also make you cut your hair. So you got to cut your hair, man. You get to state prison, your hair is coming off. Unless you're a Native American or a Rastafarian, your shit's coming off. And let me tell you about the barber. The barber looks a lot like me, okay? He can't cut hair. You might have a little pieces sticking up and all that shit. Then they give you this soap, man. You got to clean yourself with this soap on that little bit of fuzz you got left on the top of your head. And then, yep, you got to go down under, man. They got to make sure you ain't got them things. What things? You know what I'm talking about. Crabs, lice, whatever you might have. They don't want you bringing that shit in there, man. So after you get done with all that, you go through the process. They give you some clothes. And now you're like, damn, man, I'm hungry, man. Stomach's touching your back. You're like, man, I wish they'd bring us some food. Because usually they just give you this bag lunch, right? Bologna sandwich, cheese sandwich. I mentioned the cheese before. You can't even fry that thing in a microwave, man. It just bubbles up and turns black, don't melt. Where did they get that cheese from? I have no idea. But you definitely don't want that. And then they'll start bringing you some hot meals, man. When you first get there, I think it was your first 72 hours, you're locked down in B block. They bring you food to your little prison cage, man. Your little cell, right? Got a little opening over there. They're not doors. They're old school bars. Boom. After that 3 days, now you're like, okay, I'm moving on up. Now you get to go outside the rec. You get to go to the chow hall. But you're on the tier with all the big boys, man. But let me tell you something. I've seen plenty of people over there get man. It's bad, man. I've seen dudes get cut with razor blades in the face. I've seen dudes, people that have been in there for sex offenses. Dudes were hitting them with shit. Because they wouldn't come out of their cells. They want their food in their cell, and the cops would just keep them in their cell all by themselves. And the cops in Elmira, man, they don't give a shit about you, man. So if you were, an SO, dudes would walk by and hit you with spoiled milk through your cell, all kinds of crazy shit, man. And eventually, man, you will leave Elmira, right? Usually there for anywhere between 2 weeks to, some dudes are only there 3 days. Usually, though, 2 weeks to 4 weeks, man, you're out of here, you're going to your prison, man, New York State prison. You walk into New York State prison, it depends on where you go. You might go to a medium, you might go to a maximum security prison. For me, my first prison back then was Gowanda Correctional Facility, man. It was like a medium, right? I get there, man. As soon as I get there, I'm not going to lie to you, white dudes approached me there immediately. Hey, what's up, man? Where you from? And then it was kind of like, you're from New York, but if you're from Rochester or you're from Buffalo, your people are going to find you. They gravitate towards you. And as soon as I got there, man, dude was like, here. And they give you these little kits, man. When you first get there, they give you these little bag kits. They got the fresh mint toothpaste in there. You got the little toothbrush in there. You get razors in New York State. Go ahead and shave up, give you a razor. Get all this stuff in this You know what? I'm wrong. I apologize. In New York State, they didn't give you a razor. You had to get a razor from the cop and return it with your ID. So let me reverse that. Boop, 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 boop. So now we fixed that, all right? But when they give you that little package, man, that had that fresh mint toothpaste in it, Bob Barker toothbrush, they give you this deodorant, man. Listen, man. You might as well seal your envelopes with it, because if you put it on your arms, it's just going to sting, man. This shit smells good for about 10 minutes. And, you know, for some reason, I used to think that shit made you sweat even more, man. You put that joint on, you're like, all right. You know, I'm chilling. Holy shit. When your arms start burning, you're like, wow. So once again, man, you get to state prison, you got to have money, man. We're getting to federal prison in a minute where it's a whole lot different. You got to have money, man. So hopefully your family sends you money. Hopefully you have some money saved up. And then when you get to prison, people start to come up to you, your people that you know, state prison. And then you kind of get into the mix of things. You know, you're kind of living your life, right? As long as you ain't in there, man, for raping kids or doing any bullshit, you're probably going to be okay. But if you've done some shit like that, then your ass is probably hitting New York State prison. Even in the media, man, they disrespect you, they mistreat you, they beat you up, they take your shit, they do all kinds of wild shit. But how do you survive in there? You stick with your people, man. And again, I could go through the prison thing. Don't join any gangs, don't use any drugs, don't gamble. Look, man, it's prison. You're from the street. You weren't a saint in the street, you're probably not going to be a saint in jail. You're going to come in there and you're going to do you. But I would definitely try to avoid certain situations and certain things. What do you mean by that? Well, if you don't have no money, you don't get on the gambling table. If you like to indulge in things that you shouldn't be indulging in, well, make sure you got the money to pay for it. Because if you don't, you're probably going to get jammed up, man. Someone's going to want their money. And if you can't pay, you know what time it is. We'll put them beats on you, man. Eye jammies, cutting people. They didn't do a whole lot of stabbing in New York State prison, but they definitely did a whole lot of cutting. They would definitely cut you with a razor blade in your face. Back then we had tuna fish cans. We had all kinds of cans. You can open them up, man. People would bend them cans over. They hit you in the face, man. You don't want to get hit with that, man. But that's how you survive state prison. Your first day in state prison, man, you kind of stick with your own people, mind your business, make sure you get the things that you need. You're definitely going to need some shit, man. And in order to get that stuff, it takes money. So if you're out here living that street life, what I would tell you is this. Number one, man, you should probably try to get out of that life. Number two, if you don't, make sure you got some money in the stash, man, that only mama knows about. Not your girlfriend, not your friend, not your cousin, and sometimes maybe not your wife. And if you're a woman, your husband and all that, maybe not any of them. Make sure mama's got it, because mama's the one person that you can trust when you get to prison. Federal prison. What is federal prison like when you first walk in, Chad? So I can only tell you from my experience, right? You know, my first federal prison, well, I went through MDC Philly and all of that, and I'm on my way to Brooklyn, and I'm like, damn, man. But I was told I'm going to Otisville. Told, you're going to Otisville, you're good. I'm like, okay, cool. That all gets changed when I get to MDC Brooklyn, and I end up going to Big Sandy. But anyway, man, as soon as I get to Brooklyn and they put me in a unit, immediately these white dudes had come up to me, right? They're Italian dudes. One of them's name was Charlie Fusco. I'll never forget you, Charlie. If you're tuning in, Charlie, I know you own a restaurant up there. Hit me up, man. I'm going to come up there and see you. So anyway, you know, I get into that unit. Them dudes come up to me immediately. And they're like, hey, man, where you from? Oh, okay, you're from New York. Are you coming from prison? They want to know if you're coming from prison. Because they're all, you know, a lot of these dudes are pretrial. They're in MDC Brooklyn and they're pretrial. They've just been down there fighting their cases or doing whatever they're doing. They work down there as far as like the food and being orderlies. And, you know, when you come in from another place, people always want to hear the stories, man. What's it like over there? What's it like over here? So as soon as I get to MDC Brooklyn, them dudes, you know, approach me. And I remember dude giving me, you know, a little soap, deodorant. Like, he gave me a real soap. And a lot of times these cats give you a used deodorant, man. That's I know you're like, what? Used deodorant? I ain't using that. Well, guess what? This is what you do, man. Let me see. You get that used deodorant. This is what I would do because, man, I need it, man. Deodorant's like a main thing in prison, man. Deodorant, soap, and me, man, toothpaste, man. I got to brush my teeth, man. I need a real toothbrush. I need some real toothpaste. So anyway, man, you get that deodorant. You just wipe the top of it, right? You give it a couple good wipes. At least I do. Put that joint right on, man. I put that joint on before I took a shower, man. Like, then I get my shit together, go take a shower. That's kind of what it's like when you're in transit, man. People aren't really... A lot of times, people ain't looking for trouble in transit, man. You're coming through transit. You're getting ready to go to your prison. You know, usually your people, whoever you are. If you're Mexican, your people are going to come up to you. If you're, you know, Puerto Rican, your people are coming up to you. If you're black, your people are coming up to you. Same thing with the whites, man. And you just kind of like doing your thing in there. Do people get cocky? Yeah, they do. I actually had a kid hit me up that I ended up fighting with in Brooklyn. I ended up getting sent to Big Sandy instead of Otisville. He hit me up a couple times. I wanted him to come on. He didn't come on. But really, man, when you're in a transit, man, best thing to do is probably stay away from the cards and the basketball and all that shit. Man, watch you a little bit of TV. You can buy you a radio on commissary. Definitely wouldn't go haywire, man, spending money on commissary in there because they were stealing shit in there, man. It wasn't a prison where it was like, hey, man, respect men. This was a prison with a bunch of scoundrels. And there's a lot of places like that when you're in transit. And dudes were stealing shit. So I'll probably get the basic necessities, a couple of extras here and there. You know, because you want to avoid problems. You want to avoid having to smash someone, man. Because if someone takes your shit, at least me, remember I told you about that heart thing, the things that you have to have? You got to have this, man. Because if not, man, dudes will trample on you, man. Even in transit, they will trample on you. They'll steal your shit, man, disrespect you. You don't want to be in that position. I've been in the county jail, and I should have talked about this earlier, but where, man, dudes took dudes' trays, man. So, man, you only eating lunch today. And you'd be like, what the f... And sometimes you might be like, damn, man, I want to help dude, man. But dude won't fight for himself, so what are you going to do? You going to fight for him? You going to fight for his tray? Hell no. So what's federal prison like? You know, that's kind of what my experience is in for real. I've been in and out of the county jail, been to state prison, not happy about any of it, man. And that's why, you know, eventually I ended up changing my life, and I'm thankful for it. Federal prison's a whole new animal, man, depending on where you're going. As soon as you get to federal prison, the first thing they do, they want to talk to you, man. Who do you run with? Where are you from? How do you survive that first day, Chad? So you tell them where you're from, man. Talking about, hey, look, man, what are you in for? Okay, cool. They find your people. Someone might press you, oh, you're from New York? Hold on, man. You run with the white dudes? Hold up. They might call someone like I talked about Adam. And we're going to go through the pictures in the Blood on the Razor Wire book, and I'm going to put their pictures up. That video's coming soon. They might come up to you and be like, hey, look, man, where's Adam? Oh, hey, Adam, this is your dude, man. He's from New York. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? What do you need, man? I know you just got in. We got a little kit for you. And them dudes usually give you the shit that you need, man. You might even give you some, you know, some shoes. Definitely not giving you a used deodorant when you get to federal prison, at least not in my experience. And I've never given anyone in federal prison a used deodorant or a used soap. Have I given that to other people in other places? I have. Because, you know, you got to work with what you got, man. But over there, they put a little package together for you, man. And then they give you the rundown, man. You got 30 days to get your paperwork. What is that? Well, you got to have your docket sheet. You got to have your judgment of commitment, your sentencing transfer. Well, how do you get that? Well, you got to write the court clerk. Most times people get on the phone, call their family, like, look, I need you to do this, this, and this. Go to the clerk's office tomorrow. These people are serious in here. I got to have that. You have to get that, man. It's kind of like your driver's license, right? If you don't have that, man, sometimes, man, dudes, they'll say, hey, look, man, you got to go up top. What is up top? You're going to the hole. You got to wait until you get that shit, man. When you get that shit, you can come back out. Sometimes dudes have problems getting it. Sometimes the clerk ain't typing the shit up. Sometimes the stenographer hasn't done the sentencing minutes. And they want that shit, man. They want to see that shit. So you got to have your sentencing minutes, man. You cannot have your PSI. Back in the day, you used to be able to have that. You cannot have your PSI. Sometimes, like in Big Sandy, they would say, hey, look, man, fill out the slip. I'm going to go back there with you, homeboy. We're going to talk to the case manager. You go back and tell the case manager, hey, I need to see my PSI. He's helping me with my legal work. That's how it is, right? So she'll pull out your central file, pull out your PSI, sit it down, let you read it. Your homeboy reads it. Boom, you check out. You're good. You come back out with them, whatever. Surviving your first day in federal prison is much different, like I said, than other places, man. And this is a 100%, man. You're with your people. And don't ever, you know, people might be like, no, man, they ain't got no shot caller, man. Ain't. And some cars are like, man, we ain't got no shot caller, man. But, you know, everywhere that I've been, man, there was a shot caller, man. And you know what? Not all shot callers are bad. Sometimes it's not a bad thing to have a shot caller. Because your shot caller is the dude that's going to deal with the other cars, deal with the other people, eliminate any problems. Why not? And you know something, man? A lot of times when you're the shot caller, you're the dude that gets the brunt of the shit, man. When something happens, you're the dude that the administration's coming to get, man. They're coming to get the shot caller. Hey, come here, man. Put your hands behind your back. Taking your ass out of here. Boom. When there's a problem between two cars, who do you think they're targeting? They're targeting the shot caller, man. He's the head of the snake, man. We're going to get his ass first. So being the shot caller ain't always a good thing. But surviving your first day in federal prison, man, depending on where you're at, and I'm talking from a USP standpoint, you get with your people, man. You do what they ask. They hook you up. They're not there to immediately victimize you. If they don't like you eventually, then there's all kinds of ways that people get victimized in federal prison, but it usually doesn't happen on the first day, right? So your first day in federal prison, man, you do the same shit, man, before you get to the unit. I should have talked about that first. You got to fill out all these papers. You got to get ready to get mad enough to pluck a chicken with your teeth. You get butt-ass naked. They give you what I call a monkey suit, the slip-on Jackie Chan shoes, which are horrible. Give you some socks that might be falling off your ankle. They give you these pants, and they give you a shirt. And usually when you get to a unit, man, one of the homeboys will be like, look, man, I got you, man. What size you wear? They might give you some khakis, bro, and a gray T-shirt so you can walk around until you get to the state shop tomorrow, or laundry. State prison, they call it state shop. Federal prison, they call it laundry. You get over to that laundry, man, you get your clothes, you get the shit you're supposed to have. But in Big Sandy, they used to give you one brand new pair of pants and one brand new shirt. And they tell you, man, if you're here in 30 days, come back, we'll give you all brand new shit. And, they give you brand new socks and all of that. But they didn't want to just be giving out khakis, man, because a lot of people don't make it 30 days in Big Sandy. Why not? It's a dangerous place, man. Maximum security prisons are no joke, man. Just had a lady, and I'm going to try to interview her, man, if she'll come on, right? Sent me a picture of her son, man, before he went to prison, and sent me a picture of him when he was murdered in USP Canaan, I believe in November 2021. So just before Christmas, this lady got the phone call in North Carolina. Ma'am, we're sorry, but your son was murdered. She sent me the pictures in the coffin, man. It's devastating, man. But anyway, man, federal prisons are not a nice place, man. Dangerous things happen in those places. And a lot of times they happen over nonsense, man. Over little shit, man. Remember we talked about beefing on the door? Yo, what's up when I see you? Or, owing a little bit of money, not paying. Or they get in an argument over the television. And, you can end up beat to death, stabbed to death over nothing, man. Over the television. So on your first day, man, always stay away from that shit, bro. Don't ask to change the TV. You know what, man? Don't ask to change the TV for a year. A year? But I want to watch American Idol. Well, so what? You want to stay alive? Don't mess with that TV, man. I'm telling you now, man. A lot of times people call it the idiot box. Leave the TV alone, man. Definitely, man, be careful what you do as far as gambling, shit like that. Make sure you got your money. Make sure your money's straight. Don't be gambling on ass. Because I've seen people gamble on ass. What does that mean, Chad? It means gambling with no money in your pocket, man. You ain't got no dinero. You ain't got no chavo. Stay away from it. And definitely, man, on that first day and you're trying to survive prison. Now, I've seen dudes. You might think this shit's crazy, man. Seen dudes come in the first day, man. Where's the poker table at, man? Yo, where's the deuce at, man? What? So when you come in and start asking shit like that, people are looking at you right away like, dude just got off the bus. He wants to get high. He's looking for the deuce. Man, get out of here, man. This dude might be suspect, man. You just came off the bus. You should be looking for some soap, deodorant, some food to eat, right? But instead you're out here looking for the poker game and the deuce. Get your ass to the back of the bus. So surviving federal prison, man, you don't get a job right away either, right? And you don't need money in federal prison. How much money would you need when you first get to federal prison, in my opinion? You probably need to start off with about $500, right? Yeah, but you can only spend a limit of, listen, man, $310. The limit went up to $310. I understand all that, man. But this is what you're going to need. You're going to need shoes. You're going to need a sweatsuit. You're going to need some boxers. You're going to need some T-shirts. You're going to need some socks. You want some extra shit. You're going to need your hygiene products. And before long, guess what? You're at $310. So now you got to load back up next time you go. So I probably should say $620, man. You want to go 2 full buys as soon as you get there. Well, what do you mean? You told us not to order all that commissary. Look, man, federal prison's a different animal, man. If you're good, you're good. Your homeboys ain't going to come steal from you. They ain't going to let people steal from you. In a maximum security federal prison, very seldom are they sneak thieving anybody, man. Usually, man, the people that they do some robberies, there's armed robberies going on in there. They will stick your ass up with a knife. And I'm going to give you a story about that, too. Got that one in the making. They will stick your ass up in a maximum security prison. They will pull a robbery on your ass, man. Let's say you're in a little ass car. They don't like you. Maybe some people in your own car. And I've seen it, man. And I'm going to do a story about it, I promise. I've seen dudes, man, jack a dude, man, for a bunch of K2, man. And all this shit with knives. Like, yo, give it up. And dude gave it up. He was the toughest dude on the compound until it was time to give it up. So, they're not stealing your shit, man. So you're good. You got to get your bowls. You got to get the shit that you need, man. You probably want a couple nice meals. You definitely want to get a pizza kit. Oh, my bad. They don't have microwaves no more, so you might not need a pizza kit. But I used to love the pizza kits, man. I used to be a pizza guy. But anyway, man, that's how you survive prison, man, when you first walk in. Yeah, I know you've heard all that stories, man. Mind your own business, do this, do that. And one of the other things that, is mandatory when you get there, as soon as your stuff checks out, your homeboys are going to give you a knife. You might be like, I don't want no knife. You better go ahead and grab it, man. Unfortunately, you're going to need a knife, man. And sometimes you might even find people that sell knives, some badass knives. I knew a kid named Boo from D.C. was drinking all the time. He was cutting knives out and selling them to whoever gave him some money. so he can get himself some wine. He had no problem doing that. So like I said, man, what do you need when you get to jail, when you get to prison? Number one, man, you better have some heart. Someone tries you, someone puts their hands on you in the county jail, you better fight, man. You better fight. Don't let no one take shit from you, man. Fight. I'd rather fight you than have you take some shit. Because you know what you're going to feel like after they take your shit? You're going to feel horrible, man. You know what you're going to feel like in 2 weeks when you order commissary again, they come take your shit again? You're going to feel even worse. Now, I've seen dudes, man, go through it, man. I've seen dudes go through that cycle. I've seen dudes get to the point where, man, they didn't even want to live no more, man. Because they just been taken advantage of in prison, like, for real. Like, man, I can't live like this, man. It gets so stressful. It's hard, man. So definitely fight, man. And if you're out there getting money, make sure you got a stash, man. Put some money away because you're going to need it, man, when you get there. But anyway, you know, that's kind of my little scoop on how to survive prison. We got more interviews coming out. We got some good videos coming out. I'm working on a video that some people had asked me to do about Chevy. Chevy escape from USP Lee. We're going to do an escape video. Talk about Chevy and the shootout with the police. We're going to do all that. I'll probably even put the shootout clip on there. But anyway, man, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the video. I promise not to disappoint you. With respect, until tomorrow, we're out.